I noticed that most of social media is roasting Lonzo Ball for the performance he had last night. And, I mean, I don't really get it, though. I mean, I get it, but then I don't get it. Because, number one, we all knew that this guy wasn't. If you really believe LeVar Ball's hyperbole, then you truly are a fool, okay? So that's that. It wasn't Lonzo Ball going around being his own hype man, okay? He wasn't saying that he was better than Stephen Curry and that he was going to be like a LeBron James level player. You know what I'm saying? That was all his father. So you had to be more realistic when it came to what he actually was going to do on the basketball court. And another thing you got to say to yourself is, this is just one game. As a matter of fact, it's not even a regular season game. Nobody remembers exhibition games. Okay? Nobody. I mean, if you're a fan of a particular player, you might have your memories of some exhibition games, but nobody really in the long duration and the grand scheme of things remember a player scoring 25 or 30 points in an exhibition game. These games are really kind of meaningless, and they're really only important to younger players to start getting a grasp of the differences between college and the pro ranks as far as the way the game is played. And he's going to make that adjustment. It's perfectly normal. Anybody that knows a damn thing about basketball would probably expect him to struggle a little bit, okay? This is his first technically it's not even really his first pro game. It's summer league. It's practice, I guess, so to speak. These games don't really count, in my opinion. I remember a player scoring like 50 points in one of these games a couple of years ago. It doesn't really mean anything. Now, if you're doing the regular season, and especially in the playoffs, then it means something. But that's how I feel about that. And then another thing, too, now I think about it, the one player that people tend to compare him with, the way that he plays the game, is Jason Kidd. And we all knew that Jason Kidd was never a great shooter, right? But none of us will say that Jason Kidd will not be a Hall of Famer. Okay? He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Now, will Lonzo Ball of Famer? I don't know. I think the odds are that he probably won't. But I'm not going to say that he's going to be a bump. Like, I think what he shot, 2 for 15, that's not good. Of course not. I think he was like, what was the figures I remember looking at? 2 for 15, was it 1 for 11 from three-point range or something like that? Okay, so he didn't have a great game, but he did show glimpses, of the one asset that most onlookers looked at and said that's going to be an asset for the Lakers, passing. Okay? And another thing that he brought, and by extension his father, is excitement and a different atmosphere. And some people, although they lost the game, the last few years with the Lakers, and I would even include maybe the last couple of years Kobe played, that magic, that certain aura that Lakers had and that Laker fans felt was missing. I would say ever since a couple of years after the title run in 2009, 2010, after those championships, a couple of years after that, there was something missing in LA, and it especially was missing the last couple of seasons. It's that atmosphere of, we're the Lakers, we know we're good. If we're not going to win the title, we're most likely to go to the finals. We're going to be a contender. And the Lakers have been contenders more than any other team in NBA history. I think something like the first 62 years of the existence of the NBA. I think this is a stat I remember. The first 62 years of the existence of the NBA, the Lakers were in the finals, competing for a championship 31 times of those 62 years. No other team can match that, not even the Boston Celtics. And up until the last couple of years, the Lakers had the highest winning percentage in NBA history. Now, they've been surpassed due to their recent futility by the San Antonio Spurs. But the Lakers, with their 16 NBA championships and 30-odd finals appearances, are one of the greatest, if not the greatest, franchise in NBA history. But it hasn't felt like that the last couple of years. But if Lonzo Ball and some of the new players that are going to play for this franchise, and I suspect there's going to be a couple of big ones coming in the next few years, if they can just, but preceded by Ball, if they can just change the way Lakers fans feel, which is hope, and if you coincide that with, because let's be realistic, the Lakers were awful last year. They were absolutely awful. So the bar has been set so low that if the Lakers even finish close to 500 this year, that's an outstanding accomplishment. That would be an increase in wins by over 20. So the bar has been set so low that you can't get much worse than that. And I think that Laker fans will be patient. I hope Lonzo Ball can adapt to the NBA game. He was but he was saying that the screens at the pro level are set much more frequently and faster than at the college level, which is something he should have expected. And it's something, and it's his first game. I mean, it's like this, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you're a student and you're used to being tops of your class, right? You're always getting A's on this and A pluses and A's and, maybe a couple of B's, and you feel like Einstein. But then when you go to college and you have a scholarship, you make it to college and you go to Harvard, and all of a sudden you're around people who are just as smart, if not smarter than you. And it's a shock to your ego. And you have to realize something, that earlier on, you could go by on your natural talent and smarts. But now, when you're up against different competition, guess what? You have to work harder. You have to study. You actually have to work to get to where you were before. And that's what I think Lonzo Ball is going to have to realize, is that he's going to have to adjust to the pro game. He's going to have to, it's a lot more just physical. It's mental, and you have to learn the NBA game. LeBron James was very good his first year in the NBA, but in comparison to what the player he is now, he was actually he was very raw. He didn't shoot the basketball particularly well. I remember he had this really weird off-balance shot, especially the farther he got away from the basket. I think he shot less than 42% from the floor that year. It's the only year that he really shot relatively. It was the only year in the NBA that he was a volume scorer, to my memory. He didn't shoot threes well at all. I thought that he was, his first year, defensively a little bit porous, the first year. But he ultimately became one of the league's better defenders in his prime years. So that's what I'm saying. Kobe, we all remember the air balls. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he shot those air balls, and I remember laughing my head off, like, this guy's a bum. But what I should have realized at the age of 16, watching him shoot those air balls, is the fact that he was willing to keep shooting, and it never deterred him. And then I think it was the next year, in '98, even though the Lakers lost that series, he started making those clutch situation type shots. So like I said, a lot of it is mental, man. And while I don't buy all of the stuff that his father says, you know what I'm saying, I know that's hype. That's what he has to do. And I've really done a 180 when it comes to his father. I used to really clown his father, but now I see his father for what he really was and is. His father is damn near a genius. At marketing, he's a genius. I was looking at him on WWE, and WWE has been kind of lethargic and dead for several years. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't watched WWE in years. And but I did watch that episode. And his father is very, very good at rabble-rousing, the gift of gab, and self-promotion. It makes you wonder, does he really believe that he's this good? Does he really believe that his sons will be this great? Does he really believe that they are the answer to everybody's woes in Lakerland? And who knows? But to end this video, I don't think it was really all that big a deal that he shot bad, man. You know, this is one game. Now, if it's a pattern, I'll be fair here. If it's a pattern of him shooting 3 for 14 and turning the ball over a lot and not playing well, and then we get into the regular season, and then more often than not, he looks horrible, then the criticism has merit, in my opinion. But one game, no, it's ridiculous. Peace out.